He promised to smash the gangs.
Serious answer is to smash the gangs.
We have to take those gangs down, to smash the gangs that are running this vile trade, to smash these gangs.
He ditched Rwanda before it even got off the ground.
The Rwanda scheme was dead and buried before it started. It's never been a deterrent. Everybody has worked out, particularly the gangs that run this, that the chance of ever going to Rwanda was so slim, less than 1%, that it was never a deterrent.
So yesterday was a daily record in illegal boat crossings for 2025. Border Force vessels and lifeboats were overloaded, rescuing migrants, and were forced to call on fishing boats to assist, and yachts and kayaks.
UK border patrol vessels have been overwhelmed by a record surge in small boat migrants. Over 1,000 crossed the English Channel today. The latest arrivals have smashed the daily total for this year as people smugglers pushed out multiple migrant boats from a stretch of French coastline.
Now, we thought the numbers were about 1,000, but turns out it was much more. 1,194, so almost 1,200 people crossed illegally via small boat yesterday. And it seems the French, who were there to assist in this latest event, simply escorted the boats to the UK, even though apparently they can push them back in shallow water, or, here's the thing, take them back to France rather than to the UK.
As soon as these boats hit the water, the French will intervene if the boat gets into trouble and the migrants on board won't help. If they don't, then the French just simply escort them through the busy shipping channels till they get to UK waters, and then they're picked up by Border Force, or today Border Force and lifeboats. The French, we're told, have changed laws that will enable them in shallow waters just offshore to be able to try to push boats back. But that could get very messy indeed. We know that when French have tried to puncture boats with knives, that has resulted in some very violent interaction between the police and the migrants. If they try to use their small, rigid inflatables to push these small boats back to shore, I think there's likely to be very significant pushback from the migrants themselves.
We cannot sustain this anymore. Getting out of the ECHR will take years. Imagine the objections. The lawyers would have a field day. The whole thing is a racket, one which was exposed by the Daily Mail, who found many so-called legal eagles schooling their clients into what to say to bypass or manipulate the system. A system meant to help those in most need that has been turned into a farce, where any Tom, Dick and Harry, and it is mostly men, can abuse its generosity and indeed the generosity of the British taxpayer. And there are so many of them coming now, overwhelming the system, which is part of the plan, because they know that the stress the UK is being placed under and the highly publicised rush to reduce the backlog means claims for asylum are being rushed through with very little scrutiny. And even if they are denied, the system can then be abused further with appeals which we, the British taxpayer, are forking out for. I don't even think leaving the ECHR is the answer anyway. Why is it that other countries who are members are able to house people in tents like France and Greece, and they're able to interpret the laws in a way that make way more sense than here? What's wrong with our politicians? Why can't they get a handle on this? Donald Trump changed things in days, but somehow in this country we don't seem to be able to do anything about it. Well, I'm fed up with my tax money, and believe you me, I pay a lot, going to these people who've arrived via a small boat to take advantage of my hard work, whilst pensioners, businesses, farmers, working people, the very lifeblood of this country, are being made to suffer because of the policies of this government.
Do you think that they give you money in England?
Yes.
Right.
Yes, but I think they are give me England. They are give me money. You can help me anything. I can need. Okay.
Why should English people pay for you to have a house?
Maybe they give me house. They give me anything I can need. They give me.
These people are fleeing the safety of France. Why? Because wouldn't you, if you could bung a few thousand to a smuggler who will put you on a perilous but relatively safe journey to the UK, because if you do get in trouble 9 out of 10 times, you'll be escorted by the authorities to arrive safely in the UK, where you can exchange your tent for a hotel room, a flat or even a house, be given 3 square meals a day, clothes, phone, money, and you don't have to work for it for at least 2 years because the Home Office is that far behind. Who wouldn't? And if in the very unlikely event that you are repeatedly denied entry, just stay here long enough, and you'll be granted leave to remain, like Ghanaian Joyce Badu, who is still here 25 years later after her arrival, despite being issued a deportation order in 2007 and being convicted of fraud for using false identity documents, for which she was imprisoned for 10 months. She has won a human rights case to stay in the UK. Now, yesterday's arrival numbers takes the total so far this year to more than 14,600, up more than 30% on the same point last year, and the highest for the first 5 months in a year since small boats started crossing in 2018. This is a national emergency, and I, for one, will not stay silent. Instead of calling a press conference to talk about Nigel Farage,
and I'm speaking out today in relation to Nigel Farage. Nigel Farage. Nigel Farage. Nigel Farage. Farage. Nigel 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 Farage.
Keir, how about you call a press conference now and explain to the taxpayer how you plan to put a stop to this £8 million a day absolute waste of our money. If you really want to win support, stop obfuscating and stop the boats. But before we get stuck into the debate, here's what else is coming up today. For the Great British Debate this hour, I'm asking, is our asylum system fit for purpose? After it was revealed that a Ghanaian illegal migrant could not be deported because she stayed in Britain for too long. Then in our second Great British Debate, I'm asking, do you believe Chancellor Rachel Reeves is doing a good job? As new polling has found, she is now as unpopular as Kwasi Kwarteng was at the height of the mini-budget crisis. All of that is on the way. As ever, send me your thoughts, post your comments, gbnews.com/your say. I'm now joined by political commentator Aisha Ali Khan. Aisha, am I being totally unfair? Should the British taxpayer continue to stump up for every single person that just keeps coming across without any real... They're allowed straight, when they come here, they can be dispersed into the community for a while until we sort out their claims. I mean, this can't go on, surely.
Hi, Nana. I do believe that until we have better systems in place, more robust systems that are going to tackle these people coming over, the migrants coming over, risking their lives to come over, we're going to see this happening again and again. And that, for me, is... Obviously, it's worrying because these people are getting into dinghies, are getting into boats that could easily drown, and they're making that perilous journey across the channel, and not just when obviously crossing from France to the UK, but even when they leave other countries as well, the Mediterranean Sea, for example. So I think it's something that we need to find a solution for, and really quickly. And what Keir Starmer has said repeatedly before the Labour Party were elected last year and all the way through, is that we need to tackle the people that are basically promoting this idea that let's just get to the UK any which way. Let's get to the UK, let's get your asylum claims submitted, and then that's it, you guys are okay. And it's these gangs that are exploiting these people. For all these people that are coming there, that's only a fraction, by the way. There's many, many more, hundreds of thousands of migrants who are waiting to make that deadly crossing, waiting to risk their lives. And we need to basically address this issue. Without these gangs, there would be nobody helping these migrants to cross, whether it's from Turkey to Greece or France to the UK. And that's what we really need to get a handle on. And I'm hoping that we are going to see a solution really quickly, because the more this continues and the more the better weather we're getting, obviously, the more we're going to see people coming across. And again, that's just, there should be more options, different ways of people to come to UK, legal ways,
do you think,
rather than risking their lives.
They're not really risking their lives, are they? I mean, there is a small risk, but I think driving is probably more dangerous now, because this escorting them across the channel has become a fine art. Yes, a few people die here and there, and it is very sad, but the majority, I'd say 99.9% of them, make it across and they're here in the UK. And then once they're here, because if there is a problem, then we send out Border Force, or yesterday it was kayaks, it was shipping vessels. Sorry, I'm just going to get to the end of it because I did listen to you and I hear everything you say. But, you know...
Just say, in 2024, nearly 9,000 people drowned while they were attempting to cross across the world. So it's not
across the world. Hold on.
And
We've gone global. We've gone global. You've gone global. I reckon as a percentage. Okay, so we're talking about the Channel. I don't know what the seas are like in other places, but you specifically referenced it, that it being a perilous journey. So I'm specifically focusing on the Channel because there aren't things, thankfully, in the Channel that will eat people, which is probably part of the problem if you cross other seas. But look, the point is, it's not really that perilous at all. Most people who come across get across. I don't see it as being perilous, especially with the escort system that's now being put in place, the RNLI and Border Force control. And even when they are in French waters, the French aren't even stopping them. They're actually pushing them along. And it seems the inevitable journey will be to the UK. You also talked about smashing the gangs. Well, it's like a Medusa. As soon as you smash one head, there's another snake there. It's not working for Keir Starmer. We've had massive crossings. Yesterday was one of the biggest days of 2025. What about Rwanda? Would that not have been at least part of the solution?
If you actually think about what happened with Rwanda, that had been an idea that had been mooted for years and years, and eventually it was defeated in all the courts, which was why it was rejected as an option by Keir Starmer. It was scrapped, absolutely, because every single time people were trying to attempt to take migrants across, it kept on getting defeated, and it was costing the British taxpayer hundreds of thousands of pounds. And this is, again, my stance has always been, Nana, find a solution that works. Look at the way other countries deal with migrants and the issues and so on, and let's deal with this. And also look at the war that the world is actually facing, all these conflicts, all these wars. Let's find solutions for those conflicts as well, because that's what is a primary factor for lots of people to come across. A lot of people
are coming from Vietnam. Sorry, one of the largest contingents of people coming here was initially Albania. There's no war there, but we stopped that. And now it's Vietnam. There's no war in Vietnam at the moment. There really isn't. There's no justification. Absolutely. Look, we have safe and legal routes for certain people, but we can't possibly have safe and legal routes for everybody. And do you really believe that these people who are prepared to go via people smuggler will actually take a safe and legal route if it was available to them? I doubt it.
Absolutely, they would, and that's what people have done in the past. And once they've taken that route, and it's failed, and then obviously you have people who are assessing applications in a timely manner, by the way, because we've spoken about this backlog in the past as well. In a timely manner, let's address these applications. If we need to reject them because they don't meet the criteria, then let's reject them. At least the equivalent of the spending of money that they're going to spend to smugglers, basically, and you know, that same money they could spend speaking to a solicitor, speaking to a lawyer, speaking to somebody, and paying for a legitimate route way into the country.
Why are we paying for this? I don't listen. Surely you must be thinking the same thing. I don't want to pay for people having repeated appeals. If your appeal fails, you should go. Why? I mean, this lady, Joyce Badu, she had her appeals. I don't even think she paid for appeals. She didn't need to pay for it. She came here. She was here for 25 years. She went to jail for fraud using different identities so she could stay for longer. And now she's been here for so long that she can stay. What's the
25 years is a long time, and again, these are.
But she should have gone. She had a deportation order in 2007. She was still here.
Again, the enforcement of orders, the enforcement of basically the whole system. I keep on saying this. It's just not fit for purpose. We need to address the fact that this system needs to be dismantled and rebuilt from scratch, and that's going to take time. It's going to take money. It's going to take
to do it quickly. Yeah, but we need to do it quickly. Aisha, we do need to do. Look at Donald Trump. Donald Trump has got 3,000 migrants a day target, and he's getting rid of undocumented migrants 3,000 a day every day. That's what his target is, and that's what's happening. In this country, we are still going, we'll give you a flat, we'll give you a room, we'll give you... Why is it in France they can be given a tent? They're leaving France because they don't want to stay in a tent.
This idea that migrants are coming and they're getting this lavish accommodation, these flats and these houses, majority of them are living in really appalling substandard accommodation.
But they're literally
from the surviving. War.
They're safe from the war. Look, Aisha Ali Khan, I've got to go. I love chatting to you. We'll have to come into the studio and we'll have a proper ding. But listen.
Oh, absolutely.
It'd be great, wouldn't it? We need to have a proper conversation. But Aisha Ali Khan, thank you so much. Really good to talk to you. She is a political commentator. And at least we both agree that the system is not fit for purpose.